Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, zone 6A. And every year I like to look back at the gardening resources that I've picked up for the year and maybe recommend a few to you. I've done this several times now. I think I've got like 3 or 4 videos up at this point of different gardening books, preserving books, and subject adjacent style books. But this is my 2025 kind of reading haul, new books I've picked up that are gardening related. It's not very big. Part of that is because at this point I am getting further along in my gardening experience, so I'm not picking up as many new resources as I had when I first started gardening, but I still have picked up a few here or there. And I really want to show them to you. Some of them are just really fun and pretty to look at. Some of them are more recipes than anything else, but I do have 3 books that I have picked up this year that maybe you're interested in. And I know last time I talked about how I always seem to be filming when it's really dreary outside, but today I'm fighting the sun, so that's a new experience. It is 50 degrees in Nebraska. I don't know what to do with that. So the first book my husband picked up for me at a used bookstore. He saw it and he's like, well, maybe she'll have some interest in it. And I kind of do, because the pictures in this are absolutely phenomenal. And that is Bees, A Natural History by Christopher O'Toole. I think that's how you say his name. But this basically goes through kind of the origins of bees, the different species of bees, the habits of bees, some of the, not downfalls, diseases and other things that can harm bees. It's just basically all things bee. But some of my favorite parts of this is the fact that there are, I don't want to show you that picture. Let's go to some of the more fun pictures. Most of the pages are covered with stunning photography that goes along with the text. And I have just flipped through this so many times, just like looking at the pictures alone, because how amazing is all of that. So if you really like bees, which I do, I would love to have a hive or something like that, but it's just not possible with where I live right now because we don't have enough spacing between houses to meet regulation. But I do love watching the bees in my garden, and just knowing a little bit more about bees is kind of fun. So if you like bees, if you want to know more about bees, I highly recommend this. And part of the reason why I am even doing this series is with the influx of AI and AI generated books, I want people to feel comfortable in the resources that they're picking up. So that is why I'm doing videos like this. I'll put a whole playlist together of all these videos so you can go back and watch some of my past videos if you're looking for resources that might be helpful, that you know for sure aren't AI generated, because that is terrifying. I'm not a huge fan of that. So the next book I want to talk about was actually written by a YouTuber here. He has an amazing channel, and I've gotten several of his books before, but he just released this one this year, earlier, probably around March or so. I can't quite remember, but this is the Permaculture Garden, A Practical Approach to a Year-Round Harvest, and this is by Richardson. Like I said, he's got several books, and I've picked up a couple of them. He does have a nice, very informative writing style, and I like the way that his books are broken down, because you get sections where it's just talking about specific things, but it goes really in-depth, but not overwhelmingly in-depth about each of those things. And this is another one I think that is just going to be in my library probably for a very, very, very long time. Plus, I love when books have images, especially gardening books. When I have books that are very information dense, I find it helpful to have diagrams and images and things like that. So I highly recommend this one as well. And then last but not least, there's probably a lot of you who know about the Honey Homestead. I think it's Honeystead. I always want to say Honey Homestead, but they smushed it all together. It's a channel over here on YouTube, and it is run by a wonderful woman called Kaylee. She has a very gorgeous apothecary, and she releases all kinds of recipes and helpful tutorials like that. But she did write a book, and that is the Beekeeper's Apothecary. And this thing is a honker, and I absolutely adore it because, once again, you have lots of helpful charts and lists and pictures, and it goes through all of the different like herbs and plants and what their uses might be and how they're helpful to the human body and that kind of stuff and what you could use it in. And I also very much really like the way that Kaylee does all of her education, because she is one of the few that I have seen that go this like home remedy route, but reminds you that just because it's a home remedy doesn't mean it will necessarily be good for you personally. I have a lot of plant allergies. There are a lot of things that will just set me off. I like to garden, but the garden really wants to kill me. Just going to put that out there. So there are a lot of plants that I can't consume because they will set off some kind of allergic reaction in me. And she is one of the few home remedy makers, educators that actually points that fact out. And I very much appreciate that. Just because it's good for one person doesn't mean it's good for all people. So I would just put that out there. But if you're interested in creating your own home apothecary or anything like that, I highly recommend this one. So I know that wasn't very many. Like I said, I didn't pick up a lot of books this year because my library is actually pretty full of resources. So if you are looking for more resources for your own gardening library, I highly recommend that you go and check out those other videos that I have. I will leave a list down below, and of course, I will tag a playlist up on the thingy up there, wherever that goes. But if you do want to see more videos like this, I highly recommend that you subscribe down below, hit the bell to do all the things to get all of the notifications. I am now thinking about what I need to do to start my 2026 garden. In a couple of months, I will be putting seeds to soil. So I need to decide what I'm going to be growing and where I'm going to be planting things. So if you'd like to go with me on the journey of planning next year's garden, I'd love to see you again. I do have an Instagram and Threads account if you want to check me out over there. They haven't been updated recently because it's the down season for me, but I have a feeling that it's going to be changing very soon. So you could check me out over there. Otherwise, I just hope I will see you guys again in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces.